again, the bonds. If you haven't already done so, now there are a number of companies that already charge only 1 month bonds, so that's fine. But other companies, and if you've ever been working with me for a while, then it would have been 6 weeks. So, have you gone back through, if you've got 50 properties online today, have you gone back through and adjusted all of your bonds? If not, if you have, then great. Then tick that one off as a yes. This is something here with regards again to landlord communication. I would be going through and creating a couple of little Zoom webinars over the next couple of weeks. Maybe try, and I've suggested this to a few agents, maybe try doing a lunch and learn like I'm doing right now. If you pulled 20, 30, 40 landlords to each one, or 15 landlords, they're the ones that are most important. You want to try and get as much information out there. Record the videos and then send them on. So you can either send them out to all of your landlords as a link. You can cut them, put them into smaller versions, put them onto your YouTube channel, and then upload them through social media. The person who, at the moment, I think that the agencies, if you have a look around in your area, if there are 5 or 6 or 10, I was with a group last week and there were 22 agents in their small patch. And it was, when I had a look at that, if you're got 22 agents that are in there, they're all trying to then fight for communicating through to their landlords. If you're not doing this, if you're not out there actively promoting and becoming the educator or becoming the go-to, then what will happen is your landlords will find that information from another agency. And it won't take too long before they then transfer the management across. So my suggestion is that you become the go-to agent in your area. So create a couple of Zoom webinars. And again, really informal. Do it like I'm doing right at the moment. It's send out the invites, put a camera in front of someone, have a script, and then discuss it, record it, communicate it out. And then you'll find that your owners will start to really appreciate what you're doing for them. There's going to be a lot of agents, a lot of owners that just won't want to pay or don't feel that they need to pay for the property to be brought up to minimum standards. So in this scenario, what you might want to do is you might end up creating a bit of a short list and then either ringing them directly if you haven't already done so. So I imagine if you're a portfolio manager sitting here in the room and you've got 100 properties, you already know the 5, 10, 15 owners that are going to be a pain. You already know these are the ones that will say no. Don't just assume that they're going to pick up on all your communications. Pick up the phone, have a chat with them. You're better off to try and address it right now whilst it's still fresh, everyone's aware of it, than trying to address it in 3 months' time or 4 months' time when you've got a notice to vacate and then you find that you can't actually actively manage that property. Pick up the phone. You might also find that those people are ideal to be transferring across to sales. If you've been doing any landlord communication of late, your sales inquiry would have gone through the roof, because a lot of landlords would have decided just to throw their hands in the air. It's all too hard. It's all too bloody hard. So I'm going to decide to sell. And it is. It's actually the act, or the new act, has really been designed for the tenant in mind rather than the owner. So I fully appreciate that, but provide a solution for them. Your role is to really provide that solution. If you can go to the landlord and say, well, yes, we've been managing your property for a couple of years, but now you want to sell, that's fine. We should be the sales agent. What I am seeing is a lot of owners that are then saying, well, they're almost blaming the agency around moratorium, rent arrears, VCAT, particularly if they're interstate owners. Why isn't VCAT able to hear my hearing? All of those sorts of things. So what you've got then is owners will almost blame you for the fact that there's all these things that happen, and now the new RTA, and they'll go to somewhere else to sell the property. So it's really important that you've actually been communicating and speaking to the owners around sales as an option. Go onto your website and create, from a tenant's point of view, go and create the do's and don'ts as a mini fact sheet. I'd have these right now. I'd be doing an audit of my website if I haven't already done so. So there's two things I'd do. The first thing I'd be doing is an audit of my website. So have a look at your website. On Monday, if a tenant takes over a new property, or a tenant, and we had one this morning where tenants are wanting animals and pets, and we need to make sure we're really ready for these. So rather than having the same conversation with the owners multiple times and the same conversation with tenants, create these as either videos, whether it's done through Snag or Zoom, then make sure you've got those. Audit your own website first. Go through today, make sure, have you got fact sheets already on your website for the do's and don'ts? I'm sure there'll be a lot of publicity over the weekend. There's already lots of focus on what the tenant can and can't do. We're seeing tonight go out and tenants being able to paint walls and have dogs and build all sorts of things in there. But what you want to be able to do from your agency, be proactive. Have you got the do's and don'ts? If you haven't, then tick it as a no. If you have, then fantastic. But the next one I'd be doing is going to my competitors. Have a look at what they're doing. There's nothing new here. We're all in the same boat. But again, be a go-to. Go into your area. Are you a go-to agency? I would be running a couple of mini Zoom webinars. Now, you know already that your tenants are not going to show up to these. So this is to the tenants. I don't think any tenants are going to show up to a webinar. But what we're going to do, we'll go through and we'll record the webinar, cut them up into smaller videos, and then put them onto YouTube, and then put them out into the marketplace, into our website and so forth, and into socials, LinkedIn, however you promote yourself now, however you're doing that now, whether it's through Insta, whatever your channels are, put them out there. And what it's showing to your landlords is that you are becoming you're trying to attack and protect and really trying to prevent any of those, and be proactive is probably the word I'm looking for there. So I'd be doing those webinars, even though that you know that no one's going to show up. Don't do a webinar just because, don't not do it because you don't think people are going to show up.